Peace, love, love. Love, love. Let me get all these antennas together today. They are getting long. Peace, love, love. Love in the space. We are live. Peace, love, love. Is that Maya in the space? Peace. Tell me what tea you got. Come in, settle in, share. Get in somebody's DMs real quick. Let them know we are live. Peace, Nancy Marshall. Peace. Let me know what you sipping on. What wellness you got. Peace, Shannon. I'm going to bring you on in a minute, love. Get my spill on. Yes, so we are live. It's Tuesday tea. We took a break last week. I couldn't find my guest. I should shout him out so I could just blast him, but I won't do that. I'm gonna bring him on. I needed the break anyway. So it is September. This is the autumn equinox edition, y'all. We are going to get into wellness for real now. We have had a rough week. I know I've had a rough weekend with the passing of our Black Panther, of our Chadwick Boseman, and many others that have just been transitioning. And like, we just need to focus on us. Like, where is our Black joy? Where is our wellness? Where is our health? Where is our center? And all those pieces. So this month we are really going to focus on that. If you don't know about the autumn equinox, I encourage you to do your research on what this season brings. It's all about harvest, right? It's all about just making sure we are preparing ourselves. One of the vibration of the words that I've been talking about lately is fortify, and shout out to Candace Liger for that word. Queen of Four also spoke on fortifying our wellness. So really going to get into that. Today we are going to talk about grief, okay? Because as we are moving through things are constantly changing. We want to make sure that we are moving in that energy, acknowledging that energy, right? Sitting in that grief for a little bit so that we can really start to process it and heal it and move it the way it needs to move. Instead of doing what we've been doing, ignoring it, keep it pressing, keep it moving. So peace, love, you are here. Yes. I see all my sisters up in the building, all my yogis up in here. Peace, what y'all sipping on. This is the wellness. I'm going to take a moment while I bring in Shannon of Soulflower Secret Garden. And I need to turn on the fan because it is sticky hot. I forgot I meant to turn on the air so I don't be all sweating. All right, where we at? Where you go? Go live. Peace. All right, let me turn on the fan real quick. So if you pop in.
I'm going to get my tea. I'll be right back.
All right.
Well, it's still boiling.
Woo.
I feel like I'm too high up.
I have to turn on that air.
Hi, Joy.
Oh, shit.
I miss you.
I know that you too. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got you on here.
Let me see if that's better. Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. It is Tuesday tea, and I forgot my tea, so.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
It's coming. I got my props.
Yes. You got some music. We're going to get moving.
Yes.
So what you said, what you going to be sipping on?
It's lotus green tea.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Fancy.
I got tons of tea in here, so I just grabbed the first box because I forgot.
Yes. Love it.
It's so good.
I am all on this, self-care. I'm trying to get in like my little cleanses and really start to just, attune to this season. So I have mugwort in here. I have a friend who has some land and was growing in it. So this is one of my birthday presents, herbs.
Yeah, mugwort's amazing.
Yes, good for the immune system, deworming, all of that stuff. Yes. All right, love.
Right back, y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to, y'all share, hold the space. Thank you for being here. It was a couple of things I wanted to tell you about, but I can't remember. Maybe I'll remember later. Make sure you comment, you share. It's very important for that. Check out my website, Comedic Arts 24. You can do, I do all types of healing, health and wellness, spiritual guidance, readings, all of those things, tea, yoga. So whatever you need.
You the one you my first spirit guidance person. Like
Love.
first to put for you. Like you've been everything during my stuff. Like you've been everything. I'm starting Soul Sacred September.
Ooh.
On a whole lot of stuff because one, it is autumn equinox as you taught me. Not for so I'm working on all of that.
Okay, good. So what does that look like? Like you said, 20 some days?
Talk about. So what I'm gonna do is on my page, I'm gonna focus on regarding yourself as sacred and regarding what you're going through as sacred. And what you said earlier, taking your moments and sitting in whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, giving it its honor, giving it its space, and feeling whatever you have to feel.
That's the move right now. Yeah, shout out to me and JoyMaat Earthworks acupuncture. We're just sisters in the in the movement, in the spirit, and she's out in Portland, and it's a serious uprising going on over there. So we just been checking in, making sure she's good, and we're like, okay, what do we need? What do we need to do? Like, we talked about doing the usual, I do my quarterly detoxes and, really grind down. But I was like, I have tried to do 21 days, 7 days this year. And I get 3 days in and I'm like, I can't because things just change so frequently. So I was like, let's just be intentional about taking care of ourselves for whatever that looks like for the day. And so that's it.
Being mindful. My mindfulness has left. I'm not even going to tell you what I stuck in my body today. The stuff I ate today. I said, Shannon, you're not being mindful at all. You just like grab this and eat it, grab this. And it's really about mindfulness. You really have to take a minute and consider stuff. Consider a lot of stuff.
And that's how it's been for me. My friends were joking with me because I was like, yes, I got to really, tighten up my diet and nutrition. He was like, what you going to do, graze? And I was like, you have to understand, I have now part of my practice and why I started to do like meal planning and nutritional guidance for myself was because I used to binge eat. I eat my emotions. And so I still do that even though I'm eating plant-based and vegetarian, I'm still like stuffing stuff and not paying attention to what I'm putting in my body. As far as like, is it nutritionally balanced? Is it going to upset my stomach? How much am I putting in there? Things like that. So that's the kind of stuff that I am going to intentionally start tightening on, like paying attention to my portion sizes, making sure I have my protein, my vitamins, my fiber, all of those things so that I can, sustain, because my energy has been like...
That food combinations too. You know what goes away. You know how I find out what don't go together? Anybody's on that ISO tea, I got a perfect combination for you. Eat yourself is it a passion fruit with the little seeds in the tiny black seeds in it? That's not, is that? Eat that and an avocado. You don't need no ISO tea. Send you right on. Right on it.
Instant detox. Huh? Oh my goodness. Yes, but that is a prime example. Like just mixing stuff. I used to say that all the time before I really understood what to put in my body. I would get upset stomach. I have a very sensitive stomach, and I was joking. One of my friends one time was like, he was like, why you sick? You got a hangover? And I was like, I was mixing my food, not my drinks. So yes, that is a lesson learned. Just really paying attention to that. And it takes some research, but that's the stuff that we have to focus on now. I think so much of that is teaching us all the legends, the icons that we're losing, this COVID, just, and having to deal with the constant stresses that we deal with around racism and everything else that impacts us.
Well, rather than research the foods, I suggest everybody just get your book. you took the work out. And so, yeah, because I don't want to research. I'd rather just get your book.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works. That's why I do it. You know, I have the 7-day. So if anybody want to do 21 days of like intentional eating, I have the 7 days, 7-day booklets, 3 of them. So it would get you, you know, right on schedule. I have the live juice cleanse. I have the meal planning book, and I have the Superpower of Self-Love, which has the more comfort foods in there. But all plant-based. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I feel like, that's what I needed. I needed to be able to have something to where I can go to. I'm like, okay, it's easy. The meal planning book talks about the colors, eating with the colors. Okay, I know what to get when I go into the grocery store. Mm-hmm. Yes, I see your herbs hanging behind you. What is that?
Eucalyptus.
Oh, where do you get? Are you growing it?
Oh,
It was a legit question, no?
I'm learning, but I'm not. No. There's a garden in the front now, though. Soulflower Secret Garden really has a garden in the front, but I'm not the one doing it. I've loaned the yard out, and it's beautiful. Watching life grow is beautiful. Every time I come, like, look out the window, it's higher, and it's just beautiful. But no, is that me?
Hey,
Those
happen. Beautiful. It impacts you anyway, just being in that nature, just being, yeah, I have had like little pot stuff since I've been here. You know, usually I have a garden, you know, but I have a little space here. So I just do my little pots, and I just try to, you know, go to the farmers, you know, co-ops or stuff like that. And then, like I said, I have friends that I love my tribe because everybody does herbs of some kind, from the yoni steams to the teas to the,
I think that's wonderful.
Yes. So I get it from somewhere. That's key. Yes. So what has been going on in your world? Peace, everyone joining.
What's going on in my world? I have a whole viewpoint on this COVID. I have been connected and studying about Oya, and I just think this is meant to cleanse the earth. I think it was on purpose. I know it's causing grief. You know, she comes with a storm. She comes with whoever she takes out, she takes out. But the grief part, people don't realize you don't just grieve life. You grieve loss of all sorts, like their jobs, the transition to schooling. You have to grieve so many things in your life. Give it its moment and realize that it's not something you could just put under the rug and act like, okay, this just happened, let me just move on. Like, a lot of things that are happening right now requires us to sit down. And it's a season changing, so now it's time to sit down, rest, and really reflect on what's happened. Give yourself your moments. Giving yourself your moment is my big thing. Like, we've been taught, especially as Black women, to just carry and keep moving. Stuff it under the rug and keep moving. But we need to give ourselves these moments, else we're going to break. And we don't need to break right now. We need to be really strong right now.
Yeah. It's that whole talk about not breaking. I know one of the words of power that we've been using as a culture is resilience. And I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I don't want to be resilient, because being resilient means that I have to take whatever comes to me. And that means there's not boundaries in place.
Nope.
I'm going to take people giving me shit, treating me like shit, and then I have to bend and bounce back.
And balance, you can carry it. You're a Black woman. You could carry the whole world on your shoulders, but no.
Yeah, I'm done with being resilient. And I didn't even realize this has been a 2-year journey here in Asheville of like understanding that. Because when I first moved here, you know, I was deep in grief. I was moving from my tribe in Greensboro. I was having relationship, you know, changes, job changes, all of that. And I had posted on my Facebook, I'm resilient, and my EI was like, see, that's why stuff keep coming at you, because you keep saying you're resilient. And I was like, oh.
Yes, pause. You have to pause. It's like, we deserve a pause.
Yes, we definitely deserve a pause. So yes, Mother Earth is healing. She has heard our cry, the cries of her children, especially her Black children, of like just needing to just pause.
Mm-hmm.
So important.
You taught me that, Joy. Like, you taught me that. And I find that now that my work is shifting, I teach people stuff too that I don't really apply all the time. And then I have to sit down and apply it. But you taught me that. You taught me not to be so hard on myself. You taught me to take my breaks. Cause I was really hard on myself. Like I was super hard on myself. And just as calm as you could, you would tell me, "Oh no, you deserve that moment. You deserve to take a break." So you taught me that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was, I think, even now I'm hearing people like wanting to rush back to whatever normal they feel like. And it's acknowledging there is no more normal. The loss is forever lost. So there's a void there, and we have to figure out how to feel that in a healthy way. And
Yeah,
that can take time. That can take years. That can take a lifetime.
it does.
And if everybody is transitioning through that grief,
Yes.
that's a whole world of change that's going to happen.
And a whole lot of attitudes out there because of this change. People are angry.
Angry.
Being angry at everybody. Everybody. And I'm just, everybody, everybody's going through the same thing. It's almost like when you go through your loss, you're usually the only person going through it. But right now, everybody's going through loss. Like everybody has lost something significant to them. Not even, it doesn't have to be a person, but people's whole lives are their jobs. People's whole lives are the education system, sending their kids to school. Like this is all a transition for everyone, and they pissed off. I kind of don't blame them. It's a lot going on right now.
It is. It is. Like I didn't even recognize. One of my sisters here was talking about she has 6 beautiful children, and she works and she does so much, and then she posted about how she has to be at home with these children now, and it's just like I can't imagine not just being able to, yes, we want to be able to learn our children, take care of our children, but it takes a tribe to raise a tribe.
And she has 6 children,
right? Or
all
more,
in
and and not just that, but now you're giving up that space that you did have, that sense of, because we as mothers, we take on that role and we forget ourselves.
Yes.
So when we do have a place of work to go to, that is our center. And so now you can't work. You have to be
a teacher, a mom, everything. These mothers today, honey, I'm glad my children are not in school. I tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been homeschooling, but I only have one.
But I also think homeschooling is different than what they're going.
It is.
The school system doesn't know what it's doing. I think homeschooling has it down pat.
Yeah.
But they're making it easier. But what's going on now? And then if you have multiple children in different grades and you have a teacher for all those grades, oh my geez.
Yeah.
They need a release. They need to relax.
Yeah, I heard about a college, one of those elite colleges that other universities are now watching them because they've started to put, they rented out a whole hotel room. They have machines for COVID testing just to have their students in. And I was like, why? What are they holding on to where that educational system is that important to where they are quarantining their students to that point and buying $1 million machines?
They're not ready for the shift. We're ready for the shift. But when it comes, come on, we're going to have to flow. You got to flow with it.
There's no flexibility in that. That sounds like prison. I was like, no, that is not okay. Granted, they have the privilege to be able to adjust that way, but why would you want to restrict yourself more? That is the complete opposite of what this lesson is all about.
We're gonna learn it. The right people.
Yes, and I feel you on like people. This is a lesson for everybody. So even in COVID happening and the racial uprisings, people are kicking and screaming, on the inside, on the outside, and don't know how to transmute that. They don't know how to communicate their hurt, their grief, their loss, their confusion, that they don't know. So many egos out here now. It's like,
yeah, I had that talk yesterday about you forget it's becoming less purposeful and more like ego. Let me be seen. Let me make sure I'm part of this movement rather than being purposeful in what's going on. You have to be purposeful. Otherwise, you're not going to get your goal. You're not going to reach your goal if you're not purposeful. But there's a lot of egos popping up because they think this is their time to shine. I don't think it's time to shine right now. It's just time to grow.
It is. It is time to grow. It's time to look inward. I have been taking a step back from my own practice in a sense and doing different things because I wanted to be in touch with the community that I was in, and a lot of my work was online. And so I wanted to shift that. And then also saying, yeah, how I get that people are looking for to economically sustain now that they can't go get a job or whatever happened in that world. And so now they're taking on anything to capitalize off of. But all these teachers that's coming out now, all these spiritual teachers and healers.
I gotta stop following someone. I keep deleting people because I guess too much. Like, mess up your whole train of thought. They mess up your whole. Nah, I need to be by myself.
And I get it. Like we are awakening. We are learning. You know, we are growing and wanting to share that. But it's such a distraction to want to take all of that, the inner work that you're doing, and then try to turn it into like a business or try to teach other people before you really learn to fortify it.
Yes, 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 and yes. And that's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy taking on others to teach them. It drains everything out of you. So these people need to really pay attention before they start. Ooh, it drains everything out of you.
I admire the way that I have watched you in your development of like transitioning from doing hair to like making that like part of your healing modality that you're bringing to the whole wellness, the whole person. And it wasn't a rush with you. Like we always talked about that. You had this bigger vision, you had this bigger goal. And we just talked about doing a little bit. Because first it was also part of your healing journey.
Yeah.
All the work that we are doing is first for us. So in order for us to figure it out, right, we have to sustain it us first.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about your steps that you've taken? And
well, I met this lady named Joy. You know, I lost my baby girl in 2016, and not to minimize anyone else's pain, but I've never felt anything like that. I never. Grief is not something you get over. It's something you live through. So it's not anything. Don't ever think that the pain is going to stop. Don't ever think that you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be fine. This is a live journey every day. Unless I wake up tomorrow and she's sitting next to me, it's another part of the journey. And every day I got to wake up again without her being there. Every day I have to start all over again. But I'm learning methods of coping. That's what my journey is, learning methods that get me through to the next day. And the methods are healthy methods. They're not crack and stuff like that. So my methods are healing methods. I've been studying. My spiritual journey has been, now that's one journey you start, you cannot stop at all. If you stop, I can't stop. I've tried to stop. I cannot stop. The more you learn, the more you want to learn. And the more I heal like pieces and bits and pieces, the more I want to share. And I share, but I share at a different pace because everything isn't for everybody. Just because it worked for me does not mean it's going to work for the next person. So I'll share it, but I'm very careful in what I share. Even with my son, his journey is different than mine. That was his sister. She's my daughter. That was his best friend. So his journey is very different from mine. So whatever works for me does not always work for him. Period. And I literally have to tell him, you have to take your steps on your journey. If our paths cross on our journeys, then that's fine. But everybody's is different. Everybody's gift is different. What everybody learns is different. How it affects them is different. So I appreciate everybody like trying to teach because I think you can, but take your time. This is like, and it's ugly as hell. It's not a pretty path. It's not all rose petals in the tub drinking wine at all. Like it's hard. It's very hard. Every day is hard. Yesterday I found old pictures.
I've been seeing you post new pictures that I haven't seen before. Yes.
So I'm finding pictures and I'm sobbing and crying and to getting an allergy attack because they so old. And I'm like, every day, every day is something, every day. And then watching my son go through his, he's still my baby. He's my son. And I'm part of that journey too. So I'm on two different paths, still helping him, holding his hand, holding him up, and then holding myself up too. And then relying on the new spiritual stuff I have learned. I mean, it's never ending, but I'm enjoying it. It's the most bittersweet thing you could ever imagine. The biggest loss you have to lead to some of the biggest findings you could ever imagine finding is crazy. And that's the hardest thing to admit. Like I lost the biggest thing I could ever lose, but it led me to so much golden stuff. But, and so you get to the point where like, would I trade it? Yeah, I want my baby back. I do. I want my baby back. But at the same time, since I can't have her in physical form, this is a okay, compromise.
Yes. It just I have to pause on that to hear you say that, because I know, where you've been with that. And so just honoring that, honoring her in this space, and not the physical, but very, very much so present in your life. And I
you were so close to loss while you were helping me. Yeah. I had no idea that, and for you to do that is amazing. I did not know you were that close to it, that you hold it together around me. Like you held it together, and I did not know your loss was so close. Like that's a lot.
You're telling me
this is your
thing. Do it again. As you were like talking about how I was helping you and teaching you, you were helping me, because you had been through that. You were still going through it, but it had been a couple years for you since you lost her. And so me losing my father was fresh. And so it was that moment of like just watching you and also supporting you. And then taking a little bit of what I was telling you and like, oh, I can apply this to my own process. And that's the part in the teaching journey where you understand that you are always the student.
Yes.
You are always forever the student. And you are always on this journey. And it's never, like you said, it's never going to stop. Some days are bitter. Some days are bittersweet. Some days are just sweet. It's taking it in doses. And that's why, like, right now, with all of this grief, with so much, every day changing so much, it's important to take time out. Like every moment, some days I can get up and I can be like, oh, I'm feeling good, and something shifts, and I'm not even consciously sometimes.
No,
because everything in the atmosphere is just moving, and so, I can feel it, and then I'm like,
and it's so simple.
It is
that in your gut, and instantly you're crying, and I'm like, but I take it now. I think it's really important to understand that you don't wallow in it. Honoring and wallowing are two different things. Allow yourself to sit in it and allow yourself to embrace the feeling of sadness, grief, anger, joy, all of them. But you don't have to wallow in it. You don't have to swim in a cesspool. Just let it have its moment. It deserves its moment though. But you don't have to don't bury yourself in it.
Yeah.
Light some
to even get to that. What'd you say?
I said, light some frankincense, something, come back up. Give yourself your moment, but come back up. And it kind of happens naturally. I think human nature, I know for me, guilt was a big thing. Guilt of feeling joy without my daughter. How could you feel joy without your daughter? So guilt was a very big thing. But once you start being mindful, you take your moments of sadness, but you automatically will come out of it. For however long you come out of it, allow yourself to come out of it. You're going to go back. It's not going nowhere. I don't ever not miss her. So when I come out of it, I take those moments, I grab those moments just as equally as I grab the other moments.
That's the key right there, of just recognizing like, where's the balance. But I think one thing that people don't do is, and haven't had the chance to because of the rat race and all the things that happen in the world, is that we don't allow ourselves to stand in that. We don't allow ourselves to even get to the point of recognizing the pain and the grief and the loss. We just keep it moving.
Yes.
Because we are afraid of that wallowing, and we are afraid of being swallowed up by it. And so we just move right past it. And that's way more dangerous. It's like slicing yourself open and just keep going on throughout your day without taking care of that wound.
Yes.
Like, it starts to get infected. It starts to affect other parts of your body, other parts of your being.
Toxic. You letting toxins in. All you're doing is being toxic. You deserve it too. Like, you deserve that peace for that moment. You deserve that cry for that moment. If you don't give it to yourself, all that pain you're putting on other people. And that is one thing that helped me a lot. I was like, I don't want nobody to feel this. And I might have went overboard making sure nobody felt it to my detriment, but that's a big thing. I don't want to hold on to this so tight that it just explodes onto somebody. That's really important to me, that somebody else doesn't feel the brunt, because this pain is, no one should feel this. I don't think anyone should feel this.
I think that's a good point too, of like being intentional about who our support is. Because although we don't want to, what's the word? We don't want to project our feelings onto anyone. We don't want anybody to feel the pain that we're feeling, or to like, to be in anger around it, or whatever it is. We want to make sure that we are choosing people that can hold the space for it. Yeah. I was talking to a sister today who, like all of us, are going through so many different things, and they're collaborating on so many different levels, and they don't have their own net person, their own person that they can be a support to, whether it's a therapist or whether it's just somebody, a spiritual guide or something that can just be that net just for you. We all need that person.
We do.
Yeah, I have my person. I talk about my therapist, my person who I tell her all the time, I was like, I just want to be here and I just want to spill it. And it's hard for me because I'm a caring person. I like reciprocal relationships. So I want to be able to, like, how's your day? What's going on?
Therapy, I do the same thing. I said, I treat you like my clients. Like, girl, what's going on? No, this is for me.
Exactly. That's exactly what that person should be there for. And, and that's, again, like, and that also taught me boundaries within my own practice of, like, understanding, oh, I'm here for this person, so let me hold the space. But also, like you were talking about earlier, I had to take care of myself in order to do that, because it's draining.
Yes.
Like holding space for other people, it is the most draining job.
It is. And no one realized. We did the moon ceremony, but we did it like 2 months ago. Man, we was tired for 2 days. 2 days we were tired. Like, we couldn't. Fortunately, I only work 4 days a week, so that was fine. I had my 2 days to rest. But spiritual baths are underrated. They are underrated. And I've learned to make them for other people, and you need it. You need it.
Especially now. That's one of the things me and my sister talking about too. But like taking them salt baths daily. Like now it's like I love baths, but I'm so bougetto about shit, right? I just, like, even with my steams, I gotta make sure it's all perfect and and pretty and look like the wine and stuff you was talking about.
Yes.
Some days it's just we don't have time. We just need to get in there and
wrap it up, get done. Even those quick ones are amazing. Even those quick ones are amazing.
Yes. And so that's another thing that I'm like being intentional about in the next 21 days, but also making sure that I'm implementing it, moving in my lifestyle, so that I can, not just do it on full moons or new moons, but actually knowing, because I do have, my constant clientele, and I am holding spaces in many ways. And so I need to be constantly cleansing that energy out so that I can have the capacity to hold and to hold more and to expand,
I'm going to send you one. I love it. I love making them. And they're all custom. They're all intuitively made. I love it. So
yeah, I saw when I think you posted one yesterday. It was like roses, the custom love bath or something. It's so beautiful. Yeah. And that's great. And that's another thing. I make them, right?
I know
them, but like all the things. And that's what I love supporting. I love the other, my other tribe people are doing these things too, because we can't do it all ourselves.
Not only everybody's gift is so different. Me and your baths is not gonna be the same. Like, it's I know your herbs are. I know. I ain't got to finish that sentence. And it's just not going to be the same, especially when people, I don't care who you are, no two people can do anything the same. Everybody's gift is their gift.
Yes.
Period.
Oh, you know what else I need from you? Now I'm like, I have to go. But seriously, I was thinking about this the other day because the castor oil, I've been getting like Jamaican mango and lime and stuff like that. I've been trying different ones, and that's the one that I like. But I was like, I went to the store and I was like, why? I don't go to the store for anything. I'm always trying to find our people.
I'll send you some oil.
That's what I was getting to.
You can't tell by my hair because we're going to keep that.
It is gorgeous. It is
My
gorgeous.
oil, yes, I will definitely send you oil.
Yes, I need that. Yes, all the things. So yeah, I'm just, yeah, grief is like, it's a constant thing right now. And just for fortifying and preparing ourselves to like, it's not to be resilient in it, but so that those gaps can get easier or smaller or, like
Smooth. I think it's just smoother because it comes in waves, and them waves can knock you down. But the more you learn what feels good to you, it becomes a smoother ride. That's because certain things don't feel good, and I will walk away from anything that doesn't feel good. Period. Except Tyler.
Oh my goodness.
I had a client who lost her mom, and she told me that I'm her grief doula. And she was like, I watched you. She said, I watched what you do. I watch how you take your moments without apology. She said, I watch how you set your boundaries, but you're never rude about it. It's just something you need to do. And she said, you taught me without even knowing you were teaching me. And she thanked me for that. And that just made me feel amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't trying, like, we didn't know she was going to lose her mom. You know what I mean? So she just has been watching me through the years. Because I'll cancel an appointment in a heartbeat. And I'll say it's just not a good day. I've even sent messages that say my energy is not up to par today. You have the opportunity to come or not come because it's specific people. Certain energies you can deal with, certain ones you can't. And people respect it. They respect it because you don't want to be around that funky energy. And I'm in your hair.
Yes.
No. And I'm very honest about that. Like I'll say I'm in a space where I can do it today.
Wow. That just fills me up.
Because you know how it works. Honey, I was in that shop.
Yeah.
I realized I was in that shop 2 weeks after Anaya passed. I met somebody 2 weeks after she passed, a new client. And I said, what? He said, yeah, I met you 2 weeks. You were doing my hair. I said, what? How?
Yeah.
Like how?
Moving past it. Moving through me, like just trying to fill it up with something, anything.
Yes. And another person who I love dearly told me, grief is all the love, but you didn't have nowhere to put it. You don't have anywhere to put it now. So she's not here physically, and I have all this love, and that's what makes you sad. And that made sense to me too, because I want to pour it. I want to pour it into her, and she's not here for me to pour it into. So that's when you get those really sad waves, and that made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, but I love how the universe fills it up in other ways.
It does.
Once you allow space for it. Like I talked about last week, how I was in a space to where I was in a grieving space. I was like, what is going on with the world? What am I doing? I get in those spaces too. But I'm also conscious about like staying in my center, and not, putting that onto other people. And I heard one of my prayers, my Oshun prayer. And so I started to repeat that prayer, and immediately I could feel like the rivers just like flow.
Are you?
Huh?
Are you Oshun's daughter? Are you Oshun's?
I am Obatala's daughter. Obatala is my head.
Oh.
Yeah, but Oshun, but my people also were Oshun worshipers. So yeah, so I have both of that. So I heard that prayer, and it was immediate, like rush. And then I'm laying in the bed and I hear my phone ring. So I look over, and it's one of my older brothers. And we group text. We don't really talk. We just kind of group text. We have a very beautiful but complex relationship. And so he just, he called me to tell me that he's been listening in to my Tuesday teas. And I can hear my father's voice and his
Oh.
tone and his love. And just, he was like, I just want to let you know that I love you and that I've been listening, you know, and I've been tuning in and it's been helping me, you know. And I was just like, wow, just in that moment, as I was like missing my father, as I was
Yeah.
missing that, you know, that
So
voice.
message.
He sent me that message through my brother. I was
That,
just like, oh my God, you have no idea what that meant for me in that moment.
I can. I feel it right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would be boo-hoo. Okay, thank you.
Right, that's exactly what I did too. And then I was like trying to stop myself because he always called me the crybaby. So I was like, but I don't care.
I've totally stopped telling people, don't cry. I'm like, go ahead. Let all of that out. Let it out. People have cried in that chair so much. So much. And I'm like, go ahead. I catch myself now. I'm like, don't, girl, go ahead. Let that all out. I'll just braid your hair.
Yes, that's a to be able to cry. I'm finally like being gentle with myself about like being the sensitive water sign, being the sensitive Cancer, and knowing exactly what that is. Like I am talk about beyond being an empath because I'm water. So I hear it, I feel it, I sense it, I can move into it. It's deep, even that. And so like even the other day, you know, hearing Chadwick passing, I woke up and started crying. Like as soon as I opened my eyes, and I didn't know why. I was just like, what is going on? And I got on and I saw another Cancer, you know, who was crying on her live. And I was like, oh my goodness. It was that thick.
Yes.
That heavy. And that's another reason why I'm like recognizing, you know, the energy work that we do of what's ours, what's the collectives, you know, and having to move that energy.
Stuff don't belong to you. I sit aside.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff does not belong to us. Oh, there's so much stuff that does not belong to us.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the hard way.
Yes. So it's a constant ritual of releasing. So even on this, as we are moving into this full moon of recognizing that energy of like, what do we move into? Especially this moon. We're in Virgo season, so it's a lot of unearthing being done. And then also this is the Pisces moon. So we know you got that sensitive, you know, back and forth fish flowing, you know, and it's just
Never get rest. Just be wanting to rest sometime. And I tell myself, girl, just rest. I can't. There's always something.
always gonna be something. Just take a nap. It'll be there when you get there. Just
from it, nothing. There's a journal sitting somewhere. There's a deck of cards sitting somewhere. I can't hide. Ooh, let me see what this say. Like, no, I can't.
mm-hmm.
I can't read enough books. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I love it though. I ain't complaining. I love every drop of it.
Yeah. I mean, sure, it's like that though. It's some days where I forget yoga. You know, I'm just like, oh, maybe I should. Not today.
Yeah,
and being okay with that, and being completely okay with that, like
being okay with it, not beating yourself up. And you told me that one too. I took it to an extreme for a minute, like a big extreme. Like, what? I ain't got to. Joy said I ain't got to beat myself. And I was nothing. Do you understand? I was doing nothing in a big way. Joy said gentle with myself. And meant it.
Oh my goodness. So I swear I can hear my own voice saying that to myself, like, okay, you just being
lazy.
Evasive too. You just like not even trying to deal with it.
With grief though, I'm also worried about, and I go through phases of this, of numbing myself to an extreme. And that's where I am now. So now I have to do exercises and work to open my heart back up and start feeling again. Because it's easy to numb yourself so that you don't feel anything. Mm-hmm. So now I'm at the place where I'm, greetings, now I'm at the place where I'm, and it happens over and over. It's like a cycle. And so now I'm pretty numb right now. And so I'm gonna start working on things to open me
Is it
back up.
numb or is it just leveled out?
It's numb.
Okay. Because that's sometimes I have to evaluate that too, like feel into it. I have moments where it's like, am I numbing or or is it just really peaceful? Like,
Well, I didn't cry over Chadwick.
mm-hmm,
And I usually feel other his family.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I feel that, and I don't feel anything.
mm-hmm.
Like I feel everybody's lost. I know everybody's grieving him.
Yeah.
And normally I'm right in that pool. But right now I don't feel like I'm totally numb, but more numb than I want to be. I don't like to be numb because I know I'm an empath and maybe I cut it off for a minute. I don't know. So when it happens though, I start working on my heart and literally feeling stuff, making sure I'm feeling.
Yeah. It takes a lot of awareness to tap into and to be present with, of like recognizing, why don't I feel this? This should be something that I feel in some way, at least not, to the point of boo-hooing or whatever, but at least something, attention, something. Yeah. Still experiencing, all of the losses. It's just,
It's crazy.
it is. It is.
But that's why I think it's a cleansing.
It is.
It's a cleansing. Like, yeah, definitely the earth needs some cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
It's time.
Yeah. And that one for me was just a specific teaching of being intentional about what we do here. I feel like that's one thing that spirit did. Him, Nipsey, they were very intentional. Once they knew what their purpose was, they just went at it. And so, if every day, even if, and I can tell, like, even in his movement of dealing with that disease, it was self-care being done in that, because he made sure that he was doing what he loved to do, that he protected his energy by not telling the world.
Yes, yes.
You can see pictures of him going out and getting his food still, taking care of himself, doing whatever he had to do, smiling, being present for other people. So
yes.
we feel like we need to still do that, live in our purpose, but live. He lived until he didn't. And that's why we are so like blown by it, because we didn't see it. We didn't see him dying.
I don't think people like him and Nipsey did such good here, but they're gonna do better on the different plane. And I just think their work is just gonna be bigger on that plane.
Yeah.
I feel that about Anaya too. Like I just feel like her work is gonna be different. You could reach more people that way. It's just gonna be bigger that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like the good people that are transitioning is just something big is about to go down. And we're gonna need them where they are, not right here. It's not, they won't be able to do the same amount of work here.
Yeah, those are our ascended
teachers. It like that.
Those are our ascended teachers, and those that have lived. Talk about, if you get into like Eastern philosophy and talk about like the enlightenment process and like what people go through in order to get to that point of where like they're there, and so that's what that transition looks like. It looks like living in their purpose.
Yeah.
And dying in a sense of like being this teacher, leaving a big lesson, and that's that energy that we can continue to grasp onto. So
your shirt is Woman for Love.
Huh?
It looked like you Superwoman, Wonder Woman.
Oh, shout out to Farrakhan. I bought my whole. Yes.
I love it.
You know it. Got to stay powered up in all of the ways. Yes. So I want to listen. Yes, please. This is sister coming on here. Looking at all the comments. Yes, we are definitely. Yeah, we are in this plan. So we need to be doing the same as we are. Recognizing that the earth is cleansing. We need to be whatever that looks like. So if things are unearthing right now, it's paying attention to what's coming up, and whether we need to compost that mud or we need to pay attention to the karmic cycles and patterns that it's teaching us. So it's continuing to do work. It's the journey. It's the love. So we got like a few more minutes. Is anything you want to tap into, share your work, where people can find you?
You can find me in Greensboro, but I send my work all over the world. And I'll send me all over the world once they allow us in other countries. We a whole third world country right now. But anyway.
A whole nother lie for that.
Right? I'm a natural hair professional. I've shifted into wellness. So I do yoni steams. I do a lot of intentional work. Yes, 336. Intentional baths, intentional steams. So even though I do yoni steams, if you have a specific intent, I do the steam based on what your intention is. I provide you a guided meditation or a prayer or a manifestation, music. You get saged up, you get hand massage, all of that's included with your yoni steam appointment. So there are my regular ones, and then I do custom ones too. I do provide spiritual bath blends that you can take home, but I also do spiritual baths. Like if you want me to come to you, or if you want to come here, I do that. I do house cleansings. I do a lot of stuff, Joy.
Ooh, I'm like, where the house cleanser come from? I like that one.
So people have called me when they just move into a house. I'll go sage out, clean out the house, cabinets, everything. What else? That's a lot. We do the moon ceremonies, but we were gonna do those every month. There's no way. No. So whenever I feel moved, we do them. We do them again. And a lot of my work, like I said, is intuitive. So nothing is the same. You and your friend won't have the same of anything at all. Everything is intuitively made, which my therapist encouraged me to do. She's wonderful. She's like, I encourage you to do intuition work. I said, okay.
Awesome. Yes, that is tapping into that feminine power.
Oh, I've come so far with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was all masculine energy, honey. All masculine energy. And I have I'm so happy. I've come so far with that. We are so powerful. I feel like the people they try to take down are the most powerful. Women, Black women and Black men. We are the most powerful. There's a reason they coming at us.
Mm-hmm.
Your power, like stand in your power, research your power, learn your power.
Mm-hmm.
We are powerful.
That is the word. Stand in your power. Yes. Love. Where you have a website?
Oh, what is my website? Soulflowernaturals.com. We changed the name.
Okay.
Soulflowernaturals.com. Instagram is Soulflower Secret Garden. And yeah, and if that connects to all my pages, it connects to everything.
Okay, good. Well, I love seeing your face.
Happy to see you too. I'm gonna have to come up there, really serious.
Yes,
I've been driving.
Please do come through. Now you gotta come because you know I'm pulling you now. So.
Yes, I'm gonna come.
Yes, love. All right, y'all. Thank
you
so
much.
Sipping the tea with us. Make sure you join me next week, 5 o'clock every Tuesday for Tuesday Tea. We bring it in talking about this wellness, talking about all of the things that we need in order to just fortify and to stand in our power. That's the tea for today. Love, peace. I'll see y'all next week.